And welcome inside episode 71 of Breaking Bats, presented by Not For Long Media. My name is Justin Ayers, and I am joined, as always, by the great Kait joining me once again. We had a couple things planned for top of the show, what we're going to talk about first. And then the Orioles decided to sign our old friend Aaron Hicks, and we have to talk about that. Kait is the Yankees fan, me as the Orioles fan. I mean, it checks all the boxes here. So it's to set the scene a little bit in case you're not as familiar, not as locked in with everything Orioles and Yankees and Aaron Hicks. So Orioles all-star center fielder, Cedric Mullins, he's the best all-star 30-30 guy. He pulled up limp running to first base, and he has a right groin tear, a right groin strain, I should say. And he's placed on the 10-day IL, and the Orioles are saying they're hoping it's weeks and not months until we get Cedric Mullins back. The Yankees cut Aaron Hicks last Friday because he hit 188 in 28 games. And then the Orioles just went ahead and signed him to a major league contract. Kait texted me this, and he ruined my lunch. Let me try to find the time here. At 12:57, Joey's McFly, who works for John Boy, tweeted, Aaron Hicks going to Baltimore. And I was like, that's not real. This guy's not verified. Also not a reporter. Haha, Kait, very funny. That's a funny joke. And then it started getting traction. Like the reporters were like, all right, there's serious interest. And then they just signed him. And somehow within hours, it was 4:58 and it was like Aaron Hicks is taking BP in Baltimore. I was like, did Aaron Hicks sleep here? Was this kind of taking place beforehand? Actually, I'll let Kait, I want to get you in here first. Okay. First, how are you? Second, how bad does Aaron Hicks stink?
Thank you so much for introducing me. And I'm doing great. Ran 10 miles this morning. Aaron Hicks currently is not doing the best, I would say. I'm willingly handing him off to you, but maybe he could succeed better in Baltimore. You never know. Sometimes it appears to be a trend with Yankees that they go to another team and then they level up a little bit. So there is hope there. I will say that.
I mean, there is a fair amount of people that go to New York and do well. Looking at you, Jake Bowers. They somehow just pull the best out of guys.
Yes. Somebody
had tweeted that Aaron Hicks is either going to go off for the Orioles or he's going to be the worst player ever. There's no in between.
That sounds bad. The problem is with Aaron Hicks is I feel like something happened in the past 2 years and he's just not able to get back, both defensively and offensively. But you never know. There's maybe. I'm hoping for your sake. I like Hicks as a person, but it's been difficult to watch in New York. Very similar to a Joey Gallo situation last year. You like them and you hope they succeed somewhere else, but not on your team, if that makes sense.
The old, maybe he just needs to change his scenery. I mean, that usually applies. Guys, sometimes maybe it's just something about the area, the fans. Yeah, the Joey Gallo, as soon as he leaves New York, he goes to LA and starts hitting the ball, tearing the cover off of it. So maybe that could work. What a fall from grace, though. In 2018, the guy gets MVP votes. He goes out and gets a 7-year, $70 million contract that offseason. And then it just was never the same.
No.
188 this year. His OPS plus this year, it's 47. 100 is league average. He's 47. So it's half as good as league average. My thing with this, and I know I'm not going to be the only one out there with this take, is this guy stinks. The whole world knows he stinks. And what's funny is that the Orioles general manager, Mike Elias, I think he knows he stinks because he had this quote today. It was just ridiculous. I quote tweeted, I just said, LOL. Mike Elias on Aaron Hicks' offense. We have stuff that we look at from a scouting and evaluation perspective that, as I've said before, is very different from just looking at the back of the baseball card. And we hope we get a bounce back from anyone that we bring in. So he's like, hey, don't look at the back of the baseball card.
Nope,
we know he's hitting 188. Don't look at it. We have some proprietary algorithm that will prove somehow that he'll bounce back. That's what a load of crap that is. Hey, listen. All right, numbers don't tell the whole story. We have some black magic thing we have going on, some wizardry that will tell us that Aaron Hicks will actually be good. It's not. It's like what they did with the City Connects. It's their explanation for the City Connects jerseys was like, there's more to these that meet the eye.
That's Aaron Hicks.
Hey, yeah. Draw a parallel line there. Yeah. I just don't understand. Like the immediately signed this guy after Cedric Mullins got hurt. It tells me that Cedric Mullins is like really hurt.
Yes. Or maybe they're thinking he'll be back sooner than we thought, so we could just fill him in for a little bit. Because Justin and I were saying before we started to record, they're pretty much getting him for free. You're getting a free Aaron Hicks because the Yankees still have to pay. So I guess you get a free player that you could put in center field. I'm really trying to play devil's advocate on this one. It's very hard. It's very hard to play devil's advocate for both the Orioles' decision to take him and then the Yankees, to defend how he did on the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees couldn't wait to get rid of him, and he was only out there in free agency. Like, when I thought of Aaron Hicks after he got cut from the Yankees, I thought maybe somebody would take a flyer on him on like a minor league deal. This felt like a classic. Put him in AAA. Let's see what we have left in Aaron Hicks. Let him figure it out. Let him get his swing right. I didn't think he'd be a free agent for like 48 hours and somehow be magically teleported to Baltimore to take BP within hours of signing a major league contract. That wasn't what I anticipated, and it was a little bit shocking.
Was not my 2023 bingo card. I have to say that. I also didn't think that the Yankees would DFA him. I know everyone's been asking for it, but I really thought he was going to stay throughout the entire year. But
I love the people on Twitter that already started the DFA Hicks on the Orioles movement.
No,
never too early to start that movement, and I co-signed that. I just don't understand because like the Orioles, like they so everybody talks about the Orioles. They have all these great prospects. Colton Cowser, he's hurt. Kyle Stowers, he's hurt. So they were looking down the depth chart in the minor leagues, and they have this guy Daz Cameron, who actually has major league experience, and he's doing pretty well in AAA. I'm like, oh, they'll bring Daz up, or they'll put Hayes in center. They'll put our guy Adam Frazier and Terrin Vavra as like a platoon in left. That would have made sense. Or Jorge Mateo, he's fast. He's played the outfield before. Maybe they could have done that, but to just sign Aaron Hicks to a major league deal, it's a head scratcher. Mike Elias will wear this one. He's done so many good things for this organization, but he's done some things that just make you scratch your head. Yes. Mike, tell us what that algorithm is that tells you Aaron Hicks is good. Show us the papers, show us the formulas that you looked at that said this guy's worth it. Please.
Maybe he's thinking there's something left out of him and we can see what he's got in Baltimore. It's very hard.
2018, the last time he was good, Kate. It was 2018. I graduated college in 2018.
I have this one play that just lives in my head rent free. I was at the stadium when this happened, and it was a fly ball hit to left field, and Hicks thought it was foul and it was fair, and he just sat there and watched it on the line. And runners were running around, and then he realized it was fair, and then he threw it in, and Boone sat him immediately after. But that's just what I think about when I think of Aaron Hicks, unfortunately. So maybe he'll be better in center field. I don't know. Fingers crossed for you.
I think he's a dual threat. He's an offensive and defensive liability. Not many guys are like that. Some guys can play defense and can't hit, or some guys can hit and can't play defense. He's the rare guy that just can't do either of those.
Yes. Like that was the whole thing with Joey Galloway. They kept him around for so long. He Gold Glove outfielder. Can't hit, but at least he'll get to the ball. Hicks, it's tough. It's tough luck for him.
So please keep myself and all Orioles fans in your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time as we transition into having Aaron Hicks play center field for the Orioles. The good news is that Adam Frazier is batting leadoff again. That's I've been calling for Adam Frazier. He started the year hitting eighth. I was like, that's kind of low. I mean, he's tearing the cover off the ball. He's doing great stuff. And then they put him up to fifth. He's always batting fifth. Like he did well in the 5 hole, but usually you want a little more power in the 5 hole. Nothing against Frazier. He is hitting dingers this year, but I'm like, I feel like he's got to be higher. Put him higher. And tonight, lead off. So we did it. Throw up the mission accomplished banner. We did it because Adam Frazier is batting leadoff for the O's tonight.
Happy for you. I'm happy for the O's too.
You. I'm happy for the Orioles. I'm happy for Frazier. Guy's having a hell of a year.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we did that. It was good to get that off my chest. Talking about Aaron Hicks. This is not going to be the last time we talk about Aaron Hicks on this podcast. So
No.
buckle up, brace yourself. Whatever you want to call it. It's just the beginning.
Do you feel better getting that off your chest?
Yeah, I think it's better. Yeah, you don't like keep things bottled up. It's not healthy.
No.
Especially when it comes to Aaron Hicks. This will just be Aaron Hicks therapy.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, we do have things that we actually plan. Memorial Day. It just happened. What did you do on Memorial Day besides running?
Memorial Day, I had a barbecue I went to. My sister was in town. I went to the game on Sunday, watched them beat the Padres. It was great. What did you do?
I just kind of hung out and watched a lot of baseball. I watched a lot of the Yankees-Padres series, which is unfortunate. I think I talked a lot of smack on, was it Friday the Padres won? Friday night?
Yes.
Yeah, it was great. Our guy Steven Wilson shut the door. I was tweeting clips out left and right. It was like, this is
You were
it.
very excited.
And then they didn't win again. So that was great. Didn't really, last year I did the whole like beach trip thing. This year is kind of more low key, but I like Memorial Day. It's summer now. We got the summer whites on. So look at that. Look at us.
We're twinning today. We didn't even plan it.
Didn't plan it. Yeah.
Nope.
I get the Rangers hat on though for going. This is Rangers week.
I would say, is this Arlington week? Are you excited?
Yeah. Friday night against Seattle. I will be there. Nice. Globe Life Field Park. One of the two. I don't know. Globe Life something. It'll be great. So updates to come on next week's podcast on my Dallas trip. But in a broader sense, in baseball, Memorial Day is kind of that mark where you look at it. It's like a third of the way through the season. Teams are starting to get figured out. Like the flash in the pans have kind of already happened. The teams that have kind of started hot have kind of fallen back to earth. I'm sorry, Pirates fans. But I wanted to take stock of a few teams that I just want to dig a little deeper and just see where they stand. And it's the San Diego Padres.
Yes.
Because right now, we get the correct standings as of Tuesday. I don't make sure nothing has changed here. Yeah, okay, I'm still got it right. They're 24-29. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees, and before that, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox and 2 out of 3 to the Kansas City Royals, which is a little disheartening. It's weird because you look at their games and their box score, and it's going back to the Aaron Hicks thing. It's like they can't do both sides of the ball at the same time. They can't, when they hit, they don't pitch, and when they pitch, they don't hit. And it's just this weird game of what side is going to be better tonight. And it's a little frustrating because I know the Padres are better than this. They have a loaded team, but how worried should we be with the San Diego Padres right now? Are you worried?
I don't want to be concerned with the San Diego Padres. I was very excited about them, especially during this offseason, and now I am. Last 10 games, 198 average, 93 strikeouts, 393 slugging, and they are hitting 185 with RISP. That is the worst average in Major League Baseball. Now, keep in mind, the Oakland A's, even though they're not trying, they're still there. So they are behind the Oakland A's in average with RISP. I don't understand how that's physically possible. Now they start a series against the Marlins. They're 8 games back behind the Dodgers. They have to make up some serious ground because it's not looking pretty in San Diego, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think this is only because of the guys they have on their team. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not worried. I would say I don't know what's less than worried. Concerned?
Concerned. Yeah.
Concerned.
I think that's a good word.
Right, because it's like I'm not full-fledged panic button pressing it. I think the panic button's across the room. I don't even think we're looking at the panic button right now.
Really? Okay.
You look at that lineup, and I know they've dealt with injuries, and Manny Machado is still out right now. Yeah. But Bogarts is still there. Soto is still there. Like Tatis, they have the best lineup in baseball when they're fully healthy. They did just sign Gary Sanchez. Speaking of which, now Gary Sanchez is playing catcher tonight for the San Diego Padres. I don't know how I feel about that one.
How many teams has Gary Sanchez been on in the past 2 years is what I need to. So Yankees, he was on the Twins last year, right? And then he went to the Mets for a hot sec, and now he's on the Padres. What is this? Toss around Gary Sanchez to every single team until he finds something that sticks?
So
did I get that right? Maybe.
Pretty much.
Yankees, Twins.
So Yankees in 21, Twins in 22.
Yeah.
And then
he was a free agent.
Oh, wait, no, I had that wrong. It was March 13th, 2022. Yankees traded Gary Sanchez, Gio Urshela to the Twins for Donaldson. So that was March of 22.
Yes.
And then November he's free agent.
Yep.
The Giants had him on a minor league contract in April, and then
went to the Mets for a minute.
Then he signed. Yeah, then he got cut, and then he signed with the Mets to a minor league deal. And then the Mets cut him on May 25th, and on the 29th, the Padres claimed him off waivers, so he didn't even get a chance to be fully cut. And then they activated him, and he's starting playing catcher for them tonight. What a ride! I didn't know about the Giants.
What a ride for Gary Sanchez. That is crazy to me.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean there's some guys like they'll tweet out the list of like all the teams they've played for, and it's just hilarious. But like, yeah, it's.
But this is 1 year, like a year and a half. He has all different jerseys for all different teams.
He's racking up the frequent flyer miles.
Yeah, seriously. Jeez. Wow. Okay. So Gary Sanchez is catching.
Gary Sanchez is catching for the Padres, which doesn't really bode well for that whole argument I just made. But I think they're fine. I like Darvish is not going to get hit around like he did against the Yankees on a regular basis. What'd you say?
You don't think? For you, Darvish.
No, it's a season high. I think they're fine. It's I don't know. Is this the time of the year where you could still say it's still early, or have we reached the point where you can't say it's still early to kind of, unload some of the blame?
I think end of June you could stop saying. I feel like it's still kind of early.
A third of the way through the season.
2 months. Yeah. I think you really hit the panic button. Really, you smack it as hard as you can, like right before the All-Star break. And then you have to go like full send until then. Right? Maybe? I don't know.
Well,
halfway through?
I think you can say it's still early until mid-June.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll give it another couple weeks. I think you as a fan base, if you're a fan of a team, let's say you're a Cardinals fan and you're 24-32 and you're not doing great and you can't hit and you can't field anymore. You could say it's still early. You absolutely could say it's still early.
Yeah. But it depends.
It does kind of depend. It's a great debate. So I think the Padres would be fine. The next team is ironically the team they played in last season's NLCS. It's the Philadelphia Phillies. And I wanted to kind of set the scene here, kind of like what I did for the Aaron Hicks thing. I'm watching the game, went to my dad's house, visited him. We love watching Sunday Night Baseball, even though we both, gripe back and forth about the broadcast team and the weird questions they asked during the game. We're watching it. It's Phillies at Braves. And it was the worst game of baseball I think I've watched in a long time. It was sloppy. The Phillies couldn't pitch. They couldn't field. They gave up 3 home runs. They had 3 errors. They lost 11-4 on primetime. And it got me thinking. I was like, no, because I haven't been keeping up with the Phillies admittedly. I was like, this can't be right. The Phillies can't be this bad. They are. They're
that bad.
28. They're 7 games back, and they're on pace for 76 wins as a team. I am worried. I'm worried about the Phillies. Yes. I don't think they have it.
No, I completely agree. And I was just looking at like their pitching stats as well. Like Wheeler and Taijuan Walker pitched. They do well. Phillies won. Cuffy and Aaron Nola made 2 mistakes. Phillies lost. They're 1-9 when their 5th starter was the primary pitcher. And I feel like that's also kind of dragging them down. And as the trade deadline approaches, that's going to have to be their primary focus, is just finding another pitcher for their rotation. But the errors the other day, that was pretty painful to watch, I have to say.
Oh, so you watched Sunday Night Baseball too?
I did. Yes, I did watch it.
The best one was ball goes through Trey Turner. Guy doesn't even remotely get his glove close to the ball. Don't know what happened with that. Schwarber's playing left field, comes up, tries to pick the ball up, and he just boots it. And then he has to go back and he's bumbling around. And I'm just like, I played like, that's like a little league. That's a little league error. It was 2 errors on the same play. And I'm like, what? This is the Phillies? Yeah. They have one of the best infield coordinators in baseball, Bobby Dickerson, who used to be the Orioles guy. They have Trey Turner, who's usually pretty good at fielding. And I wanted to nerd out on their defense because I was like, this can't be right. Their So Baseball Reference has defensive efficiency, which measures the percentage of balls in play converted into outs. They're the 4th worst in baseball. Kyle Schwarber playing like the outfield. He's supposed to be a DH. I think that's what they primarily signed him for, but Bryce Harper is clogging that spot because he can't throw the ball because of Tommy John surgery. So Schwarber has -10 defensive run save this year. Trey Turner, I mean, usually Trey Turner's pretty good. He's not a Gold Glove shortstop, but he's certainly not glove, not even close to the baseball shortstop.
Yes.
Below average defensive season from him, and he still is batting, or he has an 83 OPS plus. So there's like 15 things wrong with the Phillies right now. And I don't know what, like, before Harper came back, you could always say, hey, Bryce is coming back. The offense will be fine. I don't know what their next, like, thing they have coming down the line. They can just pinpoint and say, hey, we have this. He's coming.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
The only thing that's interesting, though, is because I was looking just at their lineup in general. Aside from Schwarber, their entire starting lineup is hitting north of 240. So, like, close to average, above average, as opposed to, I'm sorry to bring them up again, but like the New York Yankees, their bottom 5 hitters are hitting under 220. So I don't understand what's happening if 3 of their hitters are hitting over 300. Most of them are hitting above 240, that they can't seem to scrap a couple runs and figure it out. I am worried about the Phillies. Panic button is hit, though.
We're smashing the panic button. The starting pitching has not been, like, last year, it was Wheeler, it was Nola. They were both, like, those are your horses. Ranger Suarez was fantastic last year. And I look at their rotation this year, they're 24th in baseball. They have a 5 ERA as a starting staff. Yeah. You can't win like that. You can't win when your pitching staff's giving up runs, and you can't win when you have Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber booting the ball across the field and nobody play. Like, Castellanos in right field is, you probably don't want him there. Like, they just have a bunch of guys that you prefer to not be playing the field.
Yes.
They have a team full of guys that are like, what if we just had 8 DHs?
Then we'd be fine.
What if we petition the league? Because they love changing the rules and adding things. What if we just try to petition the league that, like, you need a pitcher and you need a catcher, and then that's all you need. Everybody
then
DH.
You're fine. Everyone else is DH.
Yeah. All DHs.
They're not fielding the ball anyway, so I feel like you don't even need position players out there.
If they had a team of DHs, they would be undefeated right now.
Yes.
Nobody. Yeah.
But do you
that
think
made no sense when I said it? Like, who the fuck would catch the ball? But somehow people are shaking their head like, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. They have Senga tonight, Carrasco tomorrow. Did they take 2 from the Mets, or is this going to be a blowout? They're on right now. Let's see.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
I mean, but if we're talking about dysfunction, I feel like the Mets are still, like, they're 2 old starting pitchers, surprisingly, are looking old.
No. That's so bizarre. You have the 2 oldest pitchers in baseball?
Yeah. Verlander and Scherzer.
I like Verlander, though. Oh, it's on. Now it's 0-0, top of the 3rd. Okay.
Yeah, Verlander allows 6 runs versus, 6 runs, 5 innings, 9 hits against the Rockies, who, no disrespect, they're in last place. I'll be nice. That's all I'll say. They're in last place.
They're in last place. I did see that the other day. I saw that. I was like, whoa, the Rockies beat the Mets, and Verlander was pitching. That's bizarre.
It's like every other time Verlander pitches. The Rays beat him up 2 starts before that.
Yeah.
Have fun. Yeah. Surprisingly, the guy who's 40.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Not me. So, I don't know. The Phillies and the Mets, that's a disgusting series to watch. I honestly feel bad if anybody sits that, like, watching that in earnest. So those are a couple of teams around the midway, or the 3rd way mark of the season that we wanted to, dig a little deeper on. I saw this great Fangraphs article about your guy, Harrison Bader. Yes. That it was fantastic. It basically said that, like, this guy's defense right now is, like, it's generationally good.
Yes.
Showed all the highlights, showed all the clips, the diving catches, the head first grabs. Like, I wanted to give you the floor. Is Harrison Bader generationally good at fielding the baseball?
Yes. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is how well he does in center field. And it's because, like, just his route to the ball, like the way he angles it, he makes all of his plays look so easy. Some of the ones that he goes into the gap just look, clear gap shot. No, Harrison Bader runs out of there and gets it. I also want to add more of a fun aspect is just he's so fun to watch just because he's so animated on the field, very similar to Soto, like when he's hitting, how he like watches the ball all the way in. Harrison Bader is just a joy to watch in the outfield. But in that article, what was really cool is they were saying that if you just look at some of the plays he makes, how effortlessly he gets the ball, he currently ranks second in outs above average this year and 22 games, 5 total already. His max last year was 7. And to put that into perspective, like other players have played almost double the amount of games and he's still second in outs above average at 5, which is crazy. I also read an article recently from the NewJersey.com. They did a story on him and he said, I would play for the New York Yankees for free, essentially. He just loves playing the game. Justin's making a face. Okay, so for those who don't know, Harrison Bader's a free agent after this year. So the Yankees would have to re-sign him, or obviously he goes to another team. And he said, I just love this so much. I would do this for free. You're not buying it, Justin? What is with the face?
Well, I have never heard that. What right-minded man says, yeah, like you could say you like to play for the Yankees. I'd like to come back, but to cage it around, I'll play for this team for free.
He would. That's how much he loves playing for the New York Yankees.
Yeah, go do it. Sign a $1 contract. Let's see what happens. Harrison.
He's very passionate about the game, which is what I respect about Harrison Bader, is what I will say. But this is why we can't have nice things, quoting Taylor Swift. Harrison Bader looks like he's going on the IL. So all of those lovely things I just mentioned, it's going to take a back seat because he's going on the IL. He was running to first base yesterday. As you know, you have to run 90 feet when you hit a ball on the ground, and hamstring tight. Aaron Boone said he's not playing today, doesn't know about tomorrow, and it's possible that he goes on the IL, but he's not worried. There's just something I need to get off my chest with this. Are we not warmed up when we're playing a baseball game? Like, I feel like this happens a lot in Major League Baseball. Like, they're running to first base and then hamstring, something happens, and then they have to go on the IL. It's 90 feet. I'm not asking you to run to the other side of center field and back. I'm asking you to run to first base. And what really pissed me off, I'm sorry, this is part of my rant. What really made me mad in the Twitter comment section were people going, this is why they shouldn't be sprinting to first base. What? Derek Jeter sprinted every single play out, every single one. If it was a ground ball to the pitcher, he sprinted. If it was a gapper to right center field, he sprinted. Don't say that, oh, this is why they shouldn't be sprinting. This is why Stanton jogs and Rizzo jogs and even Judge sometimes jogs. No, they can run to first base. I promise they shouldn't be tearing their hamstring sprinting 90 feet. Sorry, that Twitter comment section was really getting my nerves today.
I mean, you get benched if you don't run to first base. Like there's been so many instances where guys will just get like benched. I want to say Bryce Harper got benched for not running one time. No, Manny Machado. It was Manny Machado, and this is when he played for the Dodgers, and he said, "I'm not Charlie Hustle." He's like, "I'm just not gonna run out of first base." And I love Manny, but that was an odd thing to say.
Yeah,
it's like, hey,
it's not gonna run.
I'm not just gonna run really hard if I don't have to. That's a
How
fascinating.
many times are you really running in a game?
Harrison Bader in the gap.
But like what? That happens once every 2 games.
Like full out sprint is not that often. That's how larger men can continue to play baseball for years.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be super, super athletic to play baseball. It helps.
Yes. But
you don't have to. It's not a requirement.
It's frustrating.
That made me think though, when you're talking about Aaron Boone, is because it's almost a week ago now, but he was ejected for the 3rd time. And how many games? 3rd time in 10 games. This is last week, but does Aaron Boone like managing the Yankees? Is this a cry for help?
I think he just wanted an extra off day. He was on Talking Yanks talking about it, and they said, yeah, Booney, like you did it before you had an off day. The next day, like, what were you saying? Oh, I just wanted back-to-back off days. Like, you don't really do anything. You just sit there and hang out. He was a little fired up. He said, I shouldn't have been ejected. Shouldn't have been ejected. Don't think I deserved the ejection. He doesn't like the fine. He did say that because if people don't know, that's obviously what happens. But he gets very into the game. I think you got to respect Aaron Boone for defending his players.
I think there's
disagree.
defending your players to a degree, but so he's been ejected 4 times this season.
Yes.
And since 2018, he's been ejected 30 times, and that's more than any other manager.
That's correct.
Like, I feel like the whole get in the umpire's face and scream at him, you can use that to kind of rally the team to a certain extent. But if you do it so often, like Aaron Boone, it just becomes white noise and you kind of lose that effect. It's like anything. You do too much of it, you're just like, I mean, the first couple of times, Booney, you had me. I was ready to run through a brick wall for you when you spat. And he did actually. He spit in the umpire's face too, which is great. So real big time spit guy. I think if he does it as often as he does and has been for the past 5 years, it's just weird. Just chill out. There's no effect to it. You probably want to get out of there to beat the rush out of the stadium or something. There's some ulterior motive here. That's why I'm like, does he like coaching? Does he just not want to coach anymore?
He's tired. Maybe he's a little tired. Just wanted a little day off.
It's just he's getting tossed 3 times in 10 games is excessive. I think you can say that.
I do think that the umpires, though, they've been really inconsistent in the last couple games. So I don't want to like totally defend Boone on this, but if you're that inconsistent and your pitchers, I think Schmidt was on the mound when he got ejected. Like that's tough. Help Clark Schmidt out. Not totally, but a little bit, just a little bit.
Lord knows Clark Schmidt needs it. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was weird. Was that when they were playing the Orioles that he did this? Yeah, I love the
yes.
Yeah.
And the spit. Okay, he also didn't spit in the umpire's face. He was yelling, and water came out of his mouth.
He was Sammy Sprinkler. He coded that guy.
Once again, I should be the PR for the New York Yankees.
Yeah. You're like, it's not that bad. Technically, he didn't spit on him. He spit in the direction, and he just happened.
It just happened to fly onto his face.
Yeah, it just happened. He didn't do it on purpose.
Come on.
Yeah. Who amongst us hasn't? Yeah, it's all right, Kait. PR 101. Steal that for part of my take.
I'm PR.
Yes, you are the PR for the New York Yankees. We interrupt this episode to bring you a word from the official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Breaking Bats podcast, the Original Fudge Kitchen. It is a staple of the Jersey Shore with 6 locations in Cape May, Wildwood, North Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. The Original Fudge Kitchen makes all of their fudge in-store guaranteeing a delicious product, so stop by and let them know that Not For Long Media and Breaking Bats sent you. Check them out online at fudgekitchens.com as they are shipping fudge and sweet treats all across the country. Now back to the episode. You have the next thing. It looks like.
Yes.
Divisions in baseball.
This is very interesting. So, obviously, the divisions are set up for a reason. We're all very well aware of it. It's been a long time coming. It's always been this way. Okay. This is what's frustrating about looking at the standings as just someone who watches baseball. Take fan out of the question. The dead last Toronto Blue Jays are 28-26 on the season, .519 winning percentage. Okay, great. So they're over 500, dead last in the AL East. Everyone's just clawing one another to get to the top in that division. The Minnesota Twins have the same record as the Toronto Blue Jays and are first in the AL Central. First. Now, every other team in that division is under 500. Meanwhile, every team in the AL East is over 500. So the fact that the Twins just get to walk on into the playoffs because they win the division is very frustrating, in my opinion. I don't know how to fix this. I don't have a remedy. I don't have a solution. I'm just asking the people listening or somebody out there if we can come up with a better system, because personally, I don't really think it's fair. But Justin, I would like to hear your take on this because I'm frustrated watching this.
Are you advocating against the division system, or do you want to have an NBA conference like 1 through 8? Plus or minus 5 other teams that somehow make it to the playoffs in the NBA? Are you saying you want to eradicate the divisions and just have it based off of records? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe we swap up the divisions a little bit. Just to make it, but okay, so here's my issue with that, like doing that. Now I'm just going on a rant. Here's the problem with like switching up teams in the division is you don't really know that well who's going to be very successful. And nobody thought the Baltimore Orioles would be doing this well. But at the same time, there are some teams that are struggling significantly, like the entire AL Central. And then the Twins just get to. Also, the Twins aren't even doing that well for the. It's not like they're beating up on the teams in the AL Central. They're just slightly over 500. So maybe you mix up the divisions. Maybe you do it like the NBA. But I think it's tough that other teams like can't make the playoffs and then have significantly higher records than other teams in different divisions. But that's just my opinion.
There's been times in the past that like teams have won, like there's been teams that have won 100 games and missed the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not fair.
I mean, that wasn't fair because my dad would tell me stories about the old days of the Orioles. And it was like the 1982 Orioles were 94-68-1. They finished in second place. They didn't make the playoffs. And it came down to the last series of the year. They lost to the Brewers in the very last game, I think. And they missed the playoffs and they won 94. I don't know what the one team that won 100 games and didn't make the playoffs.
That's crazy.
I was back in the day with the old, it was like the AL East and you had the East and you had the West, and that was it. There's no Central.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you do that. Maybe you cut out the Central and split them up and put half them in the West and half them in the East. I don't know.
I think the Pirates shouldn't be in the Central. I think if we can maybe change it up based off of geography. Pirates should be in the East.
Yes, they should be in the East.
Yeah, 2019 Indians, 93-69 didn't make the playoffs.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
93 Giants had 103 wins and didn't make the playoffs.
Like 103 wins and you don't make the playoffs?
How is that possible?
And then you look at other
they finished
teams.
second in the NL West. So back then, apparently, you had 4 playoff teams
and
total.
There's no wild card.
There's no wild card.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 1993 San Francisco Giants, the Atlanta Braves that year went 104-58. The Giants went 103-59, and they didn't make the playoffs.
Well, that's probably why then they made the wild card, because I guess that helps.
MLB wild card. When was the first wild card? 1994. Yeah.
Yes, fairly.
Honestly, I think the 93 Giants were the reason why you had the wild card, because you're like, hey guys, it's not fair.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, you can't win 103 games and be sitting at home in October. So there's something to it. I don't know if we should do full out just like conference based off of like the AL and NL 1 through whatever. Yeah. I don't know if we should do it like that, but it is disheartening sometimes when you look and you're like, if we were just in one other division, we'd be in the playoffs.
Yes. Like the AL East is insane right now.
Best division in baseball, the AL Beast.
Yeah. That would be a good way to phrase it.
It's fascinating. I think the old heads will vehemently disagree with everything that we just said.
Yes.
They do not like change.
No.
So why mess with the current division format if there's nothing wrong with it? So I will be curious to see how this gets received by the masses, who, as we know, are always correct. Everybody on Twitter is always right.
And TikTok, except us. We're never right. We don't know what we're talking about.
We're just two people that have no dirt in our spikes. We never played the game. We never played it. We never played in the MLB. Who are we to talk about it?
I don't know what I'm doing here. I should just hang it up right now.
We don't deserve to have an opinion, is what we're getting at. You're right. Hand up. We don't. Somebody was like, I hate when quote unquote podcasts show up in my feed with people who, I was just like, what? Okay, well.
Who asked you? I'm sorry. You can just keep scrolling. You don't have to listen.
Take it up with Elon that we got in your For You on Twitter. That's not my fault.
You must be engaging with similar content. Maybe you'll like it. Give us a listen. Maybe you liked
other podcasts. Yeah.
So funny.
So bad. I had to say something nice about a little tone shift.
We love it.
Let's get the vibes going. Let's get the positive vibes flowing right now. And my say something nice about this week is about the Oakland A's and Asturi Ruiz. There is not a lot to cheer for in Oakland nowadays. That's been well documented. This podcast has covered it extensively. But Oakland A's fans have one player that they can count on for pure electricity on a nightly basis, and that's their center fielder, Asturi Ruiz. He came in over the Sean Murphy trade, which if you're an A's fan, you're just kind of numb at this point to trading away your players. Sean Murphy is like the best catcher in baseball offensively. It's like him and Adley. And then it's like Matt Olson's also over there killing it. So yeah, just don't look at the Braves right now. But this guy, Esteury Ruiz, I didn't know this, but in the minors last year across double and triple A, his like total minor league stats for the year is like the most insane thing I've ever seen. He batted .332. He had 16 home runs and he stole 85 bases.
Oh my God.
This guy, he does it all. Average power, speed. He goes to Oakland this year. Like I said, the lineup is a little thin, but that's not Esteury Ruiz's fault because he's doing everything he can. I just love the fact he has the green light to run whenever he wants. So in the first 24 games, he had 5 steals, which, that's not that great. But in the last 30 games, he has 22 steals. If you pace that out over the course of a 162 game season, that would be 118, and that would be tied with Lou Brock, and only behind Ricky Henderson since like the AL and NL were a thing. There was like some guys in the 1800s that stole like 200 bases somehow, but we don't count that. Gosh. So Esteury Ruiz is electric. He has like a really high success rate. He has a 90% success rate for stealing bases. You're like, oh, maybe he just is getting thrown out every single time he runs. He doesn't. Major league average is also 79.5% somehow. Yeah. So the new rules, the pickoff rule, the bases being bigger, whatever it is, just everybody's stealing almost everything this year. And Esteury Ruiz is going to have over 100 steals, and it's going to be the best thing ever. So that's awesome. Shout out him. Say something nice.
We love that. Good for the Oakland A's. Honestly, they need something after having one of the worst seasons ever in Major League Baseball. So maybe he'll break that record, and then they'll also break the worst record in Major League Baseball ever. That'd be great.
Say something not so nice about the Oakland A's. They're on pace for a 27 and 135 record.
It's tough. It's looking tough. I want to stay positive though. Just for this segment, we won't harp on the Oakland A's.
Yeah. Okay. I think in the spirit of this segment, no more negativity. Positive vibes.
Only positive vibes. I'm going to say something nice about the Kansas City Royals because they deserve some love too. Now, when you think the Royals, probably thinking Zach Greinke, right? We love him. Everyone loves Zach Greinke. One of the best. Future Hall of Famer. Kudos to him. But do you think about Mike Myers? Now, if you don't know, he was in the minor leagues, played for St. Louis for the Cardinals a couple years, was tossed around. He did not do very well back then, had a really high ERA. I believe it was like north of 6. Now, he comes up because the Royals need a spot starter, goes 8 innings, just under 8 innings, perfect game, nearly perfect baseball. And now in his 3 starts, he has a 1.35 ERA across those appearances, 2 with an opener. Obviously, like I said, his debut in 2016 did not go smoothly, but he comes in, he has near perfect, brilliant start. And he talked about, it was really nice in the postgame interview. He was talking about, facing Adam Wainwright. And he said that was his mentor, like on St. Louis. And it was amazing to see him. And I'm just really happy for the Kansas City Royals because they really just, they don't get a lot of love. So go Mike Myers, definitely someone to look out for coming up. I hope he gets another, start coming up, but near perfect would have broken a record in Royals history. So good for them.
I saw this. I'm so glad you brought it up because people forget about the Kansas City Royals this year. What's the record? They're 17-38. So they're not, Fetty Wap would love the Kansas City Royals. That reference is so old.
That was so good. That was so good.
I was like, damn, is that going to play? Okay.
I got it.
Okay. Yeah. Fetty Wap's still cool with the kids. 17-38. Okay. Where was I going with that? People sleep on the Kansas City Royals, and they shouldn't because they have some really good players. Oh, here's a fun fact for you. Jackie Bradley Jr. plays for the Royals. Bet you didn't know that.
Oh, heartfelt. Very heartfelt. Go Royals. Kansas City needs some love. I'm excited about
Here's something else fun about the Royals. Edward Olivares was against the Nationals. He hit a home run so hard it broke the scoreboard and it started smoking.
I did see that. It
was against the Nationals, so I didn't love bringing that up. But in the spirit of say something nice about, they got dudes. Who says they don't have
can
dudes?
play? They're good.
It's what a time. What a time to be a Royals fan. Okay. Now that we're done with the positivity and the negativity, did you see the Houston Astros tweet about? So what day was this? I had to screenshot it.
Made him excited.
Houston Astros, 10 runs in front of tens of fans. They tweeted a highlight out from 2 days ago. Yeah, the 28th. They had to delete it. They were trolling Oakland on Twitter, and people universally were like, "Guys, this is mean.
That's mean.
You're piling on
salt in the wound. No, don't. Yeah, we try to be nice. Like I say, whenever I do segments on my TikTok about the Oakland A's, I say like it's more of and I'm sorry. We feel bad for Oakland. We're not trying to shame them. Wow, that's Astro social media manager might get in trouble. That's tough.
Yeah. They yeah, like I said, they had to delete it. But yeah, it's just like it's unnecessary. Like,
yeah,
we get it. Oakland has their struggles. They're, the fans, and there's a whole thing. They're about to leave the city, so it's like, all right, guys,
easy.
Astros sitting in your glass house throwing stones.
That's so mean. That's literally so mean.
It's so mean. You guys were just banging trash cans not that long ago. Like, I think people have just now kind of like forgotten, and it's like, okay,
yeah.
But like, there's still some hardcore people like, you guys are cheaters forever. Don't forget that. I think the Oakland A's should have dunked on them somehow.
They could have
brought up the trash cans.
No, their social media manager is still on teamwork. I looked yesterday. So they don't have one.
Yeah,
it's tough.
You should apply for that. Yeah,
I know, right? Come on, that'd be so fun. I would have such a kick out of that.
That'd be a tough gig.
It's a tough job.
You're just getting dunked on by everybody. Everybody's making fun of Oakland A's right now. It's the cheap, easy joke.
But Twitter, they've been fun. The social media ones have been fun. Like the Yankees and the Orioles one. The Yankees tweeted like the players gonna play when they beat the Orioles, and the Orioles beat them the next day, and they're like, the haters gonna hate.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Hey, speaking of Orioles and social media, you saw something that was really cool.
I saw the best thing land on my For You page, and I said, oh my gosh, gotta talk about this with Justin on the podcast. Adley Rutschman in New York, behind the scenes at the MLB store. Phenomenal content. They had him mic'd up in the store acting like a sales associate. He was just going up to people, talking to them, trying to like promote his jersey a little bit. There was one line that was really funny. He was like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And it was him like trying to lead people to the Adley Rutschman jersey. And there was a few people that came in, they're like, oh yeah, I'm really looking for a Cedric Mullins one. He's like, oh, you said Adley Rutschman? Oh yeah, hold on. There's some, and they're like, no, I said Cedric Mullins. And he was like, yeah, Adley Rutschman. It's like right over here. I'll just show it to you. I was very disappointed last year that people were choosing to watch the NFL over the World Series. As a true baseball fan myself, that just made me very angry. So I feel like in terms of growing the game, this is the type of content MLB needs to put out consistently. This was phenomenal. And Adley, Justin and I were talking about this prior to the show. He's a character. He's comedic. He's friendly. He's young. Right now, he's the star of the Baltimore Orioles. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic.
It was so funny. Just like the little one-liners. Just like, I don't know why they keep pushing Rutschman on people. And some lady was like, do you like New York? And he was like, no. It was just, but I feel like you missed 30% of the jokes because you don't watch I Think You Should Leave on Netflix, which shout out to people that do. Season 3 is now streaming as of today. As soon as I get done here, I'm going to turn on my double screens and watch the O's and watch a little I Think You Should Leave because it's the best show on Netflix. But just like asking people where you can get sloppy steaks, that's an I Think You Should Leave reference. Like there's just little things that you miss that, I don't know, I think you should add it to it's like they're 15-minute episodes, Kate. Come on. I
know. You get people. I'm the worst person. They're like, you need to watch this show. I say, okay, I'm going to watch it. And then I don't. I'm going to watch. I'll watch one episode tomorrow. I Think You Should Leave. What is it about? Can you give me like very plot?
Like, they're sketches. Each one is like 3 minutes.
Oh.
Like it's a show that's like sketches just strung together.
Gotcha. Okay.
Back to back.
Right. I'll give it a shot.
It's very funny.
People of the pod, you should give it a shot.
Yes. And Adley went on our good friend Eric Ardi's podcast, Exit 52, and they literally, like, Eric and Adley just did 10 minutes on I Think You Should Leave. They were just swapping quotes and what they thought was funny, and I thought it was great. So I want to give a shout out to Eric. Kills it, Barstool RDT. But yeah, Adley, he gets it. He's understands humor. He understands timing. He's everything that this game needs to grow. He should be the main marketing star. I remember when they tried to make Mike Trout be that. It was painful. They were like, "Hey, do these Subway ads and hey, do these commercials for this and that." It's like, dude, just don't make Mike Trout do it anymore. Have Adley do it. He'll be the face of baseball. It'll be great. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. I love Adley's my favorite player in baseball.
Yes. Huge Adley fan. We're huge Adley fans.
We're big Adley podcast. All right. Last, but certainly not least, we have our rants for this week. Kait, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Thank you. I'm honored.
Yeah.
All right. I've been ready for this all week. I saw it and I said, I'm ready. The Padres come into New York. Fernando Tatis Jr. obviously was suspended for opioids. We all know that. Tatis comes back. Let's just throw it under the rug, all right? Obviously, nobody condones using drugs or any performance-enhancing substances. Why are we screaming and chirping Tatis in the outfield? Now, I'm not saying I'm against chirping. You want to chirp a little bit? That's fine. I'm talking about like if it's a 3-2 count and you yell like, that's fine, okay? You want to yell some chants while Tatis is in right field? I'll allow it. I can hear the comment section right now. I'll let it slide. You starting a chant that he is a cheater that the Apple TV broadcast picked up is insanity. What does Tatis do? Home run. Next day, another home run. Do Yankee fans, is this thing on? Do Yankee fans not learn their lesson? What happened with Jose Altuve when they did this? Every single time, they scream at Jose Altuve. He hits a home run. I don't know what happens to Major League Baseball players when you chirp them to that extent. It's like they get superpowers or something, or they get like another edge on their shoulder. It always reminds me of when you intentionally walk someone and then the next batter comes up and they're like, oh, well, now he's going to go hit a home run or something because now he's pissed off that you intentionally walked the guy in front of him. I don't understand. And then what was the icing on the cake was when Tatis hits the home run, he like flips the bat all the way. It was the most dramatic black bat flip I've ever seen. And I am a big proponent of, you don't want me to bat flip, fine, then don't throw me a hanging slider. But it was comical. Tatis being a conductor in the outfield to the chants, using like his ears, showcasing it. He loved it. He loved being the villain. But I don't understand. I will tell you this. I go to the game on Sunday, dead silent in the bleachers. Nobody's yelling anything. They're like, nope, I'm not yelling anything at Tatis because we saw what happens last time. But I don't understand. If Altuve comes into town in August, no. Nobody chirp Altuve. Bad things happen when you do that. Rant over.
You poke the bear. Yeah.
You poke the bear. Thank you.
I also just find it weird that Yankees fans are the ones calling out people for using steroids when I think in the last 25 years, most of the biggest stars from the New York Yankees are known steroid users. Like, you know, the whole thing, I just said that about like the Astros and the chirping the A's, and the A's could be like, hey, you know, whatever. But like, you like A-Rod, Pettit, Clemens, like and these names ring a bell.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. Like, I don't know what we're doing here. We're going to yell that. We don't need to yell anything. You can yell some fun stuff. Wait, really quick. How do you feel about the wave? Because it looked like Garrett Cole was not happy on Sunday. The wave went on, just for people know that, like for reference. I have a video of it. It went on like 6 times around the stadium when Garrett Cole was pitching. He did not look impressed. I'm curious if MLB players think that's annoying or if they just don't even realize it.
Ooh. Okay, we'll have to ask. We'll have to ask some of them their opinion.
I
like the wave.
I'm
very pro wave.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't start it. I for sure will, like, if I'm across the stadium and I see like one guy out there doing his hardest, trying his damnedest to try to get the people up. Because you know how it always takes like one guy in one section. And he's always like 1, 2, 3, and he tries to start it that way.
Yeah.
I won't be the one that started, but I'll join in.
Okay.
Yeah. Why not? And sometimes if I don't feel like standing up, I'll just give it the arms. You just give it the arms real quick. But if you're getting into it and the whole crowd's cheering, yeah, you full stand up. It's great. Especially if it's a blowout. If they start the wave during a blowout, and it's like the people there are like unhappy. Lightens the mood. Vibe change.
Okay, that's a good point. I like that.
Very
So we're pro waivers.
Yes. You live a little bit. You know, baseball's a kid's game. It's very childish to stand up and go, woo! But why not?
We're also grown adults singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" in the 7th inning. So
yeah, we do a lot of there's a lot things. When I go to the Orioles games, I always sing "Thank God I'm a Country Boy" at the top of my lungs. And I also scream "Oh" during the national anthem, and I do that at other sporting events, and doesn't play as well.
Like, what are you doing? Get him out of here.
I'm the only one just silently under my breath going, "Oh," and I know everybody's kind of like, "What?
Did he say something?"
It's because I'm from Balmer.
All right, give us
that's
your
great.
rant.
That was a great rant. I have a rant. So actually, I don't know if it's rant. Kind of, I could almost have used this in a say something nice about. It's more of an upbeat kind of rant. So 2023, I've been playing fantasy baseball for a long time, 10 plus years, same core group. It's been great. We all talk shit. It's a great way to just kind of like stay in touch with like, hey, friends, and also like be locked in with the game, not just the team that you follow. So I'm very pro fantasy baseball. If you don't play, you should. I love fantasy baseball because it makes you it forces you to like pay attention to everything, all teams, all players. And 2023, I don't know what it is about this year, but this is the year of the rookie. There's just so much insane young talent in this game right now. And I don't know if it's just exclusive to this year or if there's more of it this year. I don't have any quantitative numbers or data to back this up, but I'm just going to come out and say it. This is the year of the rookie because, let's take a look at some rookie hitters that are absolutely killing it right now. I may or may not have most of these guys on my fantasy baseball team at the moment. Josh Young from the Rangers. He's 10th in the AL. He has 11 home runs. Guy's insane. Masataka Yoshida comes over from Japan. He's hitting 303 for the Red Sox. Casey Schmidt only played a handful of games for the Giants, but he's been red hot. He's batting 342. I have most of those guys. But it's really crazy is like the arms. Is that every time you look on MLB.com, the front page is always like some rookie made his debut and dazzled. They love using the word dazzled. He shines in his big league debut. And there's been so many of them. It's like, all right, 2 in Cleveland, Tanner Bybee and Logan Allen. We've talked about Logan Allen on this podcast a little bit with Gab Gowdy a couple weeks ago. Both have sub-3s. Logan Allen absolutely shoved against the Orioles. 10 strikeouts. Guy's insane. We already know how I feel about the Mariners starter, Bryce Miller, and how upset I was when the Yankees, come out back behind the woodshed, beat him. It was bad. It was really bad. Then, if you want to get extra nerdy, Dodgers first-round pick from a couple years ago, Bobby Miller, has 2 amazing starts, and he absolutely took it to the Nationals the other night. And my favorite is it's a relief pitcher. If you don't know this name, you should. I'll probably do a video about him at some point. His name is Ben Joyce. Ben Joyce, write that name down, put it in your brain, because he's going to be the next big thing in baseball. In college at Tennessee, he threw 105.5 miles per hour. And when he came in for 1 inning with the Angels, he was pumping 102, 101, 102 easy. Guy's got gas, throws hard as hell. And I just it's so awesome to see this next wave of young talent. And I didn't even talk about Taj Bradley or some of these other great rookie starting pitchers that are great, but it's been so much fun to keep up with. If, like I said, pay attention, keep up with these guys, because these are names that will be there for the next 10 plus years.
I love that. Staying young.
So good.
And I feel like it's also appealing to the younger fans as well, because again, that's going to be who you're watching as, you go about that.
Yeah. It's just like every night there's a debut. Every night there's a top prospect from a team that you don't pay attention to. And he goes out and he does what Bryce Miller did, and he strikes out 10 in his debut, or he does what Ben Joyce did and throws 102 miles per hour on the reg. So it's like, yeah, it's great. There's so many great young talent players, whatever. Please keep up with this and play fantasy baseball. Do you play fantasy baseball?
I don't know. I'm getting looks right now.
It's the best. It's why? What do you have against fantasy baseball?
Nothing. I honestly, I don't really know how to play. Like, is it an app? I'm being totally honest right now. I'm really not into the gaming aspect of sports, and I know I need to be better.
It's not sports betting. We'll put you in the Breaking Bats league here next year.
All right, perfect. I just pick a team, right?
No, you draft players. You play fantasy
Yeah,
football?
yeah. Like draft players on my team.
Yes.
No, oh yes, that's what I meant. Not like pick yeah, I like draft players for my current team.
Yeah.
Right? And then you play against each
Yes.
other?
I think that's all I had for this week. Did about an hour. Had some laughs. I don't know how to end this. Kait, end the pod.
Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next Wednesday.